Welcome. Whoever jumped in here thinking you'd see something great, I apologize for the first thing that came on the image. It's been a long time, so I thought I'd do a live. Didn't know when I'd do one next, so I said, well, it's early enough anyway, I'll just do one now. Now I just have to see. I used to know how to do things on this. Hey, Hunter, how you doing today, buddy? You behaving yourself? I'm just asking out of politeness. There ought to be a button on here where I can just click on your name and invite you in. Otherwise, it's trying to block you. I'm like, I don't want to block him, or I can put you in timeout till you learn your lesson, whatever that is. Trying to. Well, I did some pipe work again this morning, and my energy's just going a little bit down, but it's been pretty good. Did a lot of sanding, found a couple of stems. Then I was ticked because I thought, I'm going to drill out a tenon, and I started to do it, and then the battery was dying, so I had to plug in batteries, and I said, well, it's telling me I'm not doing that right now. So tomorrow is going to be tenons and stems. And maybe this weekend I can come in here and stain some pipes and get them ready to head out. Or at least be advertised to head out. Let's see if this is going to let me do it. Probably going to tell me to screw off. So are you smoking anything this morning? Redburn. I haven't had Redburn. I'm smoking something. I don't even know what it is at this point. a little bit of an English on top of whatever was left in this pipe that I threw in when I walked in here half awake. It's not bad. Is it like a red Virginia? I'm just doing my dangest to be organized. I'm making some alterations, well, just improving on that pipe I showed you with the plateau all over that's going to stay connected. I figured out it's going to have 3 main sides that are going to be almost like hinted at a panel, but not really. Their own kind of segments. Looks fantastic. And then I did some work on one that has I'm finally, I think, to the end of this like 3/4 inch deep by 1.5 inch high inclusion that was on the front. It's like, I'll make this nice big chimney pipe. And man, I've just been still going and going and going and going. And I think it's almost done. At least I left a lot of pipe on there so I can rescue it. How you doing? Gans, damn it, it's Monclaude. Good to see you, buddy. Thank you. I am still kicking. I often miss and my wife kicks back, but before that, I'm a feisty son of a gun. I haven't seen you in a while myself, bud. How have you been? Red and bright Virginia's nice. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I'm trying to build suspense now till it's finished, but it does look really good. It's going in the right direction, you know. You start a pipe and you never know entirely. Well, don't always know entirely, and I'm now to that point where it's that aha moment for the 6th time, and now I know what I'm going for exactly. So a bunch of more sanding to do, of course, because that's more fun. Oh, I can do this from my phone now? I didn't know I could do this from my phone. I just want to know how to invite somebody. I think I just have to manually type the dang thing in. And if I have to, I freaking will. I'm on right now. It's going to be a minute. I was gonna join you guys. What a weird night. Thank Moses. Are you smoking anything, Mike? Yeah, I'm gonna join Hunter and Cascadian and Hillbilly. And I was taking care of the animals, and my dog just decided it was time to play hide and seek. So I told Hillbilly I should be there about 20 minutes or so, and I probably a day, an hour or so. But then I was ready to join, and he was ready to eat, and it was okay because I was ready for bed. So it's not like it was that big a deal. Manually typing links is a bit of an odd thing to have to do sometimes, I'll tell you. Oh, I thought I was done after that letter. Son of a gun. I almost got it. I think. There you go. I sent you one, Hunter. Hey, Dan, how you doing, buddy? Making some bread. You could have some hickory smoked bread if you do it right. Good to see you, bud. It's been a bit. And I'm not blaming you. It's my fault mostly. But it's good. I came back and started working on pipes more. Now I got commissioned. So I'm like, well, I'll take it. So I'll be in here throughout the week as I can. I'm trying to keep in mind, even if I'm feeling pretty good, that I need to not work on stuff for a day or two. Because I'll feel good all week and then overdo it without realizing it. And then it's difficult. So I did a few days and then yesterday and did a little bit of work today. And now I'm done. And maybe this weekend I can do some easy stuff like staying on a pipe or something like that. And then maybe next week pick up a couple of days again. Oh man, yeah, me either. Everything going okay for you? We've been doing a bathroom remodel and trying to help people where we can, and that's just and then not every day is perfect anyway, so you had those days, just off days, so to speak. But yeah, I missed a bunch as well. I've been getting grief nonstop. What kind of bread are you making? Man, I'm gonna have to bug my wife. I'm pretty laid back. If she asks what I want to eat, I'm like, whatever. Whatever, you know. And I've been cooking, but most of the time she'll either give me some options of things to cook But when she cooks, it's always good anyway, so I don't really care. And my goodness, we had some turkey and bacon and diced potato soup with beans, and good Lord, that was so good. Did you test it?
Yeah. Still need cleaned up, so I'll give it to George. If you reject it, good as you should.
We got the single shot rifle, but we don't have the one-eyed dog. That's all we need. Then I can start singing and scare the neighbors. If you find any mice, give them out. Test your shot.
No, that's pretty accurate looking gun. I've been shooting the heck out of 3 grams.
We got a 22 single shot from the early 60s. And my dad thought it was a Magnum, so he, oh, get out of here, you little fly. Go on. Go on. My dad put fly strips up, and they caught about 50 flies, and we just have one that's been around the shop. Just one. That's all it takes to drive you bonkers, depending on how they act. But I am going to do some blending today. I got some jars with me. And I've got some ideas for blends, and I'm going to slap a label on them, call them something, and let them sit for a while and see if they're fantastic. I'll double check, Dan, because I'm familiar with the brand. I just don't recall when I looked, so I'll have to let you know. He'll be back in anyway. It might be. I glanced at it and I just didn't retain the brand. Hey, Paul the Piper, how you doing, buddy? We're having a party. Oh, there. That's awesome, Hunter. You just get you a single shot rifle and you can be up there singing. Single shot rifle and a one-eyed dog. You see who you hit, find out. Or what you hit, I mean. Or anybody out there who gets all touchy about crap. But I used to do a lot of blending that I'd check it out and then. Oh, yeah. That's true, Paul. That's true. I was doing them on different days and I was doing them pretty late. I know that. For some reason, the last few days, or evenings, I should say, I've been able to go to sleep sooner. And that usually has a consequence. Usually, if I fall asleep early enough, then I have anywhere between 2 and whenever I get up in the morning, I can have a bunch of seizures in my sleep, or a bunch more. So it's been very strange that I've been able to, and the time I've gone to bed is different. You know, one night was like 8, one night was 1, one night was like 9, one was 10. But I've been waking up sometimes as early as, well, like today was damn near 6:30. Now I wasn't ready to function till 7:30, but that's pretty dang good. I used to get up really early, and you know, I can't really choose when I get up. That's the worst side of it is I could set an alarm and then just cause myself a major issue instead of waking up. And if the conditions are right away, I won't wake up from the alarm. It doesn't help a damn thing. But anyway, I used to blend for jars and stuff a lot more often, and I hadn't blended for a few months, other than once. So I've been blending some stuff the last couple evenings, and got a couple of them in jars, but I want to make some and put them in jars and leave them alone. And I'll have to get through the month. So I'm thinking if I blend a little bit throughout the month, then after a couple months, I'll have a heck of a lot of nice stuff to try. So my problem is I blend with something like I find or rediscover a really good Kentucky or something, and then I just get fixated on it. I want to reblend the same thing, and I'm like, no, I'm going to stop. So we save these coffee tins, and I'll blend a couple of blends I haven't smoked in a long time, and then I'll take them inside, and those will be for me. And I put my notebook somewhere. I don't even know where I do know where I put it. Put it right here. But I need to find blackened catfish, because that is just one of the best damn blends. Or my Old Virginia, that one, or All Virginia, that's one of them too. But I need to buy some backy. I had to miss out on a couple. They had some tremendous sales. One of them was like the prices were how they used to be, and it was like every brand and most of the blends I wanted. And I had to pass it up because we're working on the bathroom. Ooh, Honolulu Rain Mountain Morning, Burley Morning Pipe, Patrick's Grant, Hillbilly Burley, Ohio Codger, Plum Jelly. Or you got to have some names on blends that, well, this one's called Cracked Nuts. So you got to be careful. Somebody's going to give you some crap. Mabu's Revenge, Mabu's Retribution, Fudge Brownie. Ooh. My whistling skills are on par, I'll tell you. I'm blind. I'm trying to see names. I got a list of names. I'm trying to see them all, and it makes it easier to see them on my phone. I didn't want to miss anybody. So if I did miss anybody, welcome in. And everybody in here, welcome in anyway. So what are you smoking, Paul? Anything good? Anything bad? I managed to avoid smoking anything bad for months. But I've also ended up smoking a few of the same blends for months because I didn't blend anything else. And so I'm getting ready for other stuff. I definitely need to order more. All right, what else do? Oh, I know what I need. I see it over there. I need to order some more. See, that's my problem. Is I blend black and catfish and I can't put it down. And I don't have tons of the components left. This one's no Latakia. If anybody has any freaks they don't want, I won't argue. Oh, is that what happened? Let me double check, buddy. I think I got it right, so I'll double check it because I only had like 500 damn things in it. I think my typing was right, I think. I'll send you a new copy of it. Maybe it'll let you. And it could be because maybe I didn't click on something. I don't know. Maybe it's set. Sometimes things have a few seconds and they're like, oh, it's been 15 seconds. It's not happening. I'm close. I just need 2 different backies. Or 2 more. It probably told me you wanted to join, and then I'm probably like, I'm not paying attention. If it doesn't work, then that's. I'll just say I'm new. I don't know what to do. There's all my lighters. Oh, we're close. One more stinking ingredient. Which I think I have all in a jar, actually. So, Dan, what you been busy with, buddy? You make any more silverware, so to speak? Dark Fire. Is it going to tell me you're joining? I'm not turning my back, I promise. I kind of am. Just going to throw things real quick. Old Dark Fired. Man. Found it. Hey, Seth, how you doing, buddy? There. Just blending, had to dig to the bottom of the barrel. I haven't blended this blend forever. Oh, it shouldn't make you go through anything, actually. You just have to accept or something like that, but it'll ask you one thing, but it is okay. I'm trying to remember what it asks you. It's been a while. But there's one thing it asks you, but it's when anyone's joined before with it. But like I said, I haven't seen everything. They could have updated things and have you. I don't know what all they ask you, but you know. But they just join you right in. It just uses it's basically like a live Google Meet. A Restream itself is its own browser-based Google Meet, basically. It's pretty nice. But I don't remember what they asked. How you doing and what are you smoking, sir? I need a much bigger bowl for this blend. Like, hands down, I need like a 30-gallon bowl for this blend. It's redonkulous. And a Friday Sabanelli. Excellent. A good blend and a great pipe. I only say good blend instead of great because I do enjoy it. But after a while, I can't smoke a lot of it. So I could do a couple of bowls. Something about it's just a tiny bit harsh for me. I don't know what it is. I still enjoy it, and I've aged some quite a bit, and it's better. Something about it just tries to argue with me, but I still like the blend a lot. No, you shouldn't need to have a Restream account. That's the first I've ever had ask anybody that. Let's see. Can't join room. Oh, Very Nice is pretty good, man. It's been a long time. That is one of the best, if not the best, berry blends. That's probably the best. I'm just going to say that's the best. That one is fantastic. Oh, my goodness. That's Hearth and Home, I believe. Yes, and it is one berry blend, surprisingly, that ages very well. I've got some a few years old. I just keep saving that little bit, you know. It's like, I'll smoke it eventually, but I don't want to. But it is really good to blend with on top of it all. It's fantastic. I You may just need to have a Google account, maybe, but you shouldn't have to make a new whatever for this. I know Mike's joined. I think you've been in it before, but it's not part of Google or anything. It's Restream is its own thing, but I'm trying. Maybe you have to have Google Meet or I don't remember. It's weird, but I haven't invited anybody. I haven't been on Restream for ages, and I love it. It was more of a matter of I don't want to go find the password. I got lazy. Well, I can said if you're interested in joining, I'll send you the link. Maybe it'll let you join, or maybe there's something you can see that I can't that'll tell you how it is. Oh, I got you. Hey, Yusuf, how you doing, buddy? Great seeing you, Seth. I appreciate you jumping in here, and I hope you enjoy your day, man. Well, hold on. I'm mixing things. I mixed country gentlemen. The little thumbnails, you both have dark hats on. I'll see you. I can't even think. I'll see you later, Hunter. Enjoy yourself, buddy. Always great to see you as well. All right, I'm forgetting what I'm doing. I'm all anticipates. I haven't made this blend for so long. But it's the kind of blend, it's so good it drives you nuts. The room smells amazing when it's smoked. Just amazing. Excellent, man. Good to see you. Okay, I got that out of the way. Oh man, this blackened burley. I've been having burley and other stuff with a lot of sugar on it. I mean, and this is not mold. See if you guys can see this tiny. Look how much sugar's on that sucker. On my screen, it's almost entirely gray, or my perspective. Get those little shimmers of a crystal here and there. Wonderful. And last component. Oh man, everything's shimmering. Rum and honey and a straight Kaiser pipe. Kaiser? Geezer? Just kidding. I'm blending some blackened catfish, which is my wife's favorite blend. I finally, no matter what I blended and what other blends she had tried, she really loved Sutliff Creme Brulee. It just resonates with her. And I wanted to make something she liked better that was one of mine. And I got close a couple of times. And blackened catfish, she said, that's it right there. That's the only one. Lurker Troy, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, Haunted Bookshop is good. I've got some that's pretty dry. I need to rehydrate before I smoke it next. But yeah, I do love it. I love the taste. It's unique and delicious. That one I could smoke a couple times a week and then I'm pretty good. But I've got any blend will do that to me. I've got many I enjoy that I just have to enjoy not quite as often, you know. Sparingly, I guess would be said. Like some Latakias, I can't just smoke certain Latakias all the time, even though I love them, because after a couple of days, then I start getting, I don't know what you'd call it, but when you, I guess Latakia tongue or whatever, where everything kind of has a sour note to it all the time, I'll get that. And the same thing with certain Turkishes if I smoke them all the time. So good to see you, Troy. It's been a while, buddy. It's been a while. Hope everything's going well. I have no complaints. I get to enjoy your guys' company and blend again and work on pipes again, so I have no complaints. I'll put a drop sometimes, or maybe 3 in about a bowl size of tobacco, and stir it around. It's amazing because even if it seems like there's too much moisture in one spot, it seems like, oh, it's all absorbing it. It does not take much. You could do 1 drop and just keep stirring it a while, and eventually it will absorb the water and distribute it. And it's pretty amazing that you can get 1 drop to moisturize a blend thoroughly. Just 1 drop, just by stirring it around. Coffee black, nice. I had 203 Sutliff coffee last night, actually, in a blend, so, or in a pipe. I hadn't had that for years either. That was pretty good. Nice, good to hear, Troy. Yeah, some blends, whether no matter what it is. I mean, it took me forever to find good Balkans, and now I know there's like 6 I really like. 2 or 3 I love. Oh, about 4 I really, really, really love. But I kept smoking ones that just were not good to me, so I was about to give up. I got you, Yusuf. Well, you're welcome in here whenever I'm on. I don't know when I'll do an evening one next. It'll probably end up being on a Saturday at some point. I'm working on finishing up some pipes within the next few weeks. I'm going to try to stain 2 of them this weekend. And but between the commissions, I'm trying to finish up a bunch I had started or got close finished. And I'll do the stems next week, at least for a couple of them. Stems take a lot of work. But I'd like to finish and then put them up online and show everybody what's available. But I've got a lot of nice ones that are turning out really nice. Drilling is spot on. So still no complaints. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, so it's already night for you. Dang. It's yeah, 10:23 here. Oh, I'm getting into it. There we go. Not bad. Some darks, some browns. Man. And into the jar. But it's going into the house because I'm going to smoke it later. This is not going to be a wait a month on this jar because I'll do another one and set it aside. But this is just to scratch the itch. Oh, nice. And I got enough room. I'm getting used to the amounts, man. I've got enough room to fill this comfortably. A little bit left over to smoke now. And then, yeah, smoke some more this evening. This thing's going to be gone in no time. Oh, that's not the one I had. There's the pipe I had. Ooh, nice, Troy. Great to see you, buddy. That sounds freaking great, man. I hope you have a good evening. Good heavens. That gets the Dayum seal of approval. Good heavens. Hey, Dark Lord. How you doing, brother? Going good, man. If I don't hit weird keys on the laptop here and close everything out because I'm an imbecile. How you doing, bud? Now I gotta label this because I'm not very good at remembering. I'm just kidding. I just didn't label two. Got my deluxe label system here. Wife's marker pen thing. Oh shoot! I might even have the date on something. Dang, I'm just kidding. I keep forgetting the date. I swear it went from November 3rd to 10th in the blink of an eye. I want to get some more tape. Man, everything's going to shambles. Good to hear, buddy. Oh, there's got to be. Why not have a dang knife? I don't have a knife. It's hiding. It's all right. I did have a tamper. And I don't. What I do, I set everything down. I came to work and took things out of my pockets and. Oh, there's a corner of something. Sounds good, buddy. And I'm going to put just like a half drop of water in this jar and shake it around. because I know the Turkish I used is just a little dry. I don't mind it because normally I smoke it about that way, fairly dry. And I usually blend it with stuff that's fairly moist. So sitting in a jar, the oils and stuff take care of most of it. But this case, I'm going to add just a nothing more of water. There we go. Blackened catfish. We're going to go sit inside this evening and just do a pipe every so often, and then I have it. Now what do? I should have brought like 4 bowls out. I didn't think I was going to blend so much. Well, I knew I was actually. I was like, I'm going to blend today. But I don't always know how it's going to go when I intend things, so I just thought I'd come out and get started either way. Coffee sounds good, man. And I love cappuccinos. Oh my goodness. I just don't drink coffee. Red mudfish? Probably. It honestly, that what really inspired me on that is some of the Scotty's blends. If you guys have tried the Scotty brand, they have like Trout Stream and stuff like that. So, and even for top stuff, they have really good blends. So I was kind of inspired by mudfish kind of theme and smell to blends. I don't know why. So it ended up leading to like Fish Trap Creek, and blackened catfish. I think in a Briar'd, it leans more towards the mudfish, but you can kind of see it implied. You know, I don't know how to explain it. A lot of things translate well. Carp. As long as it's not spelled with the R before the A. I should make something with cube cut and that kind of theme. But getting that mudfish kind of sort of taste going takes just a little bit of fine tuning with the blending. So it's not just a matter of if you're going to add Cavendish, it's like it's like there's Green River Cavendish and B20 Cavendish, which is very good. Actually, if you like Lane BCA, but you can still tell there's topping, and you don't like that, Sutliff B20 is a non-topped, fantastic Cavendish. Great for blending. Just a straight Cavendish. There's nothing added to it, which is great. 544 bulk Cavendish is pretty good. My favorite is aged Maduro Cavendish. But that one in B20 and BCA. I really have a soft spot for BCA, but the B20 and the aged Maduro Man, I love those. And they're good with blending. And then I've got Burleys and blackened Burleys, and so you can make a blend off of just several different Burleys and have a unique taste that doesn't, or several different Cavendishes or whatever, and not, it's, you'll think there's more in it than just Cavendish. It's like, how is this flavor coming through? That's fantastic. Like, the more I sit and think about it and smell it in a cup, it's just, I don't think I've tried this. Well, maybe I did. Usually I test a blend, especially if it's going to be one that I give a 5-star rating to, where it has to have a good room note, retrohale. It has to check all the boxes, and then have that X factor to it. Just that can't explain why it's better than what the components should be. Then it gets a 5-star. And yeah, it's got to check all of those, and has to be good. Even if it's a blend I don't like, personal preference doesn't even go into it. It has to just be a well done blend. Was the intended goal reached? Because I have blends that they give you a description and you try them and you're like, I don't think this is what you're going for. It doesn't. And I know descriptions are here or there, but Turkish does a lot for those. Nice, DDT, very nice. And you can make, if you want a really creamy kind of blend, just a simple one, B20 with what's the other, TS18 Latakia for Sutliff, or Galwith and Hogarth Latakia blend. Those together with a little bit less of the Cavendish and more of the Latakia, you can get this really smooth, almost creamy, wonderful texture. Especially if you've got a Balkan and you add, like, Lane BCA has something to it, has that like hint of vanilla kind of touch, or just BCA, either one. You can make a Balkan a really creamy smoke. Like, that's really the best way to describe it I can think of, is the word creamy. Because it wouldn't be like silky smooth, because you can almost feel the smoke. It's amazing. And the fact that, if you're blending and you need a Cavendish, but you don't want to throw off the blend because of a topping, B20 is a lifesaver. Because sometimes that's been something that silently plagued a couple of earlier blends for me. Was I was like, I know it needs Cavendish, but this isn't right. Was because although most of them work well with the dang it, I just had it. Dang it. I keep wanting to say Lane Berry Nice. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Lane BCA. Sometimes that vanilla touch to it just doesn't work right with the rest of the components, and you just need Cavendish. But it's so close to that same flavor, just without the topping. So it has saved me on a couple of blends where I was just like, this isn't working. What is it? I just didn't know the answer. And this burns pretty slowly for being in a cob. And I don't know if you guys hear it, I got an air deal running. And I have not smoked carefully. This blend smokes pretty slowly thanks to the different things in it. But now I need to make something real good with some cube burley. Latakia. I do need to get more BCA. That's one they need to have. I need to have a lot of that. I need like 20 pounds of BCA so I can just save it, let it age, use it in a lot of different blends. And Berry Nice is very similar to that. You can use some Cavendish, you can use that as the Cavendish, some Turkish, a little bit of Virginia, maybe just a good go-to Burley like J4. That's pretty good with it. There it is. Oh, there it ain't. What is that one? That's Sutliff Burley. We're going to come up with something. We're going to come up with something. We got to make something. And I was smart enough to put different jars here. So this is going to be my Frankenstein tin of the day. Yeah, I don't know where I set that. I don't know where I set that. That's all right. That's another one I need a lot of. It's Superior Flake. Number 400. But I'll do a little bit of that. I need to order. I wished, especially the one order I could have done had I not done the responsible thing and saved for what I needed to get to finish up the bathroom. That would have been a hell of an order. That would have been a hell of an order. Oh my gosh, that smells really good. That's from 21, actually. I'll throw some 400 in there. Now, something a little different. Nice. I've not had 10 Russians. But I've heard nothing but good about it. I mean, I've heard, there are some people that don't like it, but I've never heard anybody say, oh, that blend's the worst blend on the planet. I've heard a lot of people praise it. I love having this shop because I already accept that I'm one who's got to clean it. So I just throw matches on the floor to cool off. And then I'll sweep them tomorrow. Then I know they're totally dead. Or I'll sweep some of them today that have been there from yesterday because I forgot to sweep the other half. Because my problem is I get matchsticks. I toss them this direction, but there's about a 4-foot area they can go. And I'll sweep some, and if I'm real tired, I may not see it. My vision won't catch what's right in front of me. So you having pretty decent weather up there? Ooh. A lap bomb with a kit. Is it like Kentucky or Pressed Virginia with Latakia, do you think? I mean, I know there could be other components, but is that primarily what you suspect it is? I am going to put a little Latakia in this thing. I do need to make a Latakia bomb one, honestly. A really nice, rich one. This one, there's a little bit left in there, but that's about how much Latakia this one's going to have in about half this bowl. I want the sweetness of these Virginias and other things, the flavor of the burley, which can subside. I want those to still be there, so I'm not going to use a lot. But I will break it up so pieces get kind of all over. When I mix it up. And maybe a little bit of this 544. Okay, I didn't know how dry of a smoke it kind of tasted, because you know dark burley can be kind of like that, where it's like a dry burley. I don't know how you word it, but it seems like that'd be that to me. Just a few. This 544 Cavendish is definitely a burley made Cavendish. Oh, okay, okay. Nice. This one I have to write down because I have a good feeling about it. So we've got Sutlip Burley. Oh yeah, that was it. Nice. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Engine 99. I had a small sample. I think I got 2 pipes out of it because I didn't know what it was going to be like. So I just had some from a friend, and I said, "Oh, just send me a tiny sample," because at the time I was where I had a lot of bad experiences with Latakia, so I was very on the fence about it. But I liked Engine 99. I really, really love Old Ironsides. That one is one of my favorites. I'd smoke that sucker any day. But dark burley, huh? I could do. I could make a lat bomb. I should make a lat bomb. Honestly. I'm low on dark burley. This is what I got, a dark burley. And I know that may not seem low, but it is when you like to blend for people. I mean, it was 16 ounces. And that was June of 2021, and I haven't made anything with it for around a year. So it goes fast when I use it. So I'm going to take some Latakia, of course. And we'll do some dark burley. And I don't know what else I want to add to it. It could be a good enough just 2 mixture blend. Just straight up dark burley with Latakia. Could be good. I think there's maybe one more thing I want to add, but I'm not sure. Planta's Heavy English. Oh man. I've had so many good blends that have had, well, not a lot, but I've had a few blends that were exceptionally good thanks to tobacco leaf being in them. There's one, is it Las Peregas? But there's one that smells like a C&D one. It smokes like a C&D one, and I'm trying to. Oh, it's a Enduro. Is a lot like Seattle Pipe Club's bourbon barrel aged, but with tobacco leaf, cigar leaf instead of that. Lane and Dulo, that is good stuff. I know I want to keep this simple, but I think there may be something I should add. Because I want to make sure it's got a little bit of creaminess to it. And it's not just, because Latakia has a nice smoke to it. Obviously, on its own, it's a nice smooth smoke. But I'd like to make it on the creamy edge of stuff. I don't want a very strong, like Cavendish flavor. see what this has. Let's see what this does. I'm going to take a picture for measurements. We'll see what we can do, because that is one thing I have not made really a true lap bomb, because I've gone close or I've gone a different direction last minute or whatever. But you want it subtly enhanced, not drown out, of course. I made an English blend that I imagine an English being a long time ago. And I think I just called it Abu's English or something. But it was that, for me anyway, it was the perfect English. It's nice and smooth, has the leathery kind of, scent to it, but it still has, I'm trying to think of the best way to do it, but it wasn't a lap bomb necessarily. It was more of a balanced English. And I made a Balkan like that, where I've tried so many blends. I've been fortunate enough to try so many blends, and none of them were quite like that. It was almost like a mix between a couple of them. Like a really great Balkan is Hearth and Home Larry's blend. That was introduced to me by Smoking Cardboard, and he gave me a box with different stuff. He says, "Is there anything you want to try?" I'm not taking no. So I said, "Okay." I said, at that time I hadn't really had experience with Orientals or anything like that, or Balkans. Those were the two. So once I smoked Larry's blend, it was cool outside. It was winter. It was in the garage, and that was one of the best smokes I've ever had. Still to this day, just everything combined, the cool air coming in with that was amazing. So that is a great Balkan. Whereas you have other ones like White Knight, which is an English, but it's kind of between like Larry's blend Balkan, and it just crosses the line over to an English, but it isn't like it isn't Maltese Falcon. So it's a good just over the edge into English. I think White Knight is very good for that. So this ended up with 4 components. I think it's going to be right. I have the feeling it's going to be done correctly. Smells fantastic already. Mostly it's the Latakia I'm smelling, but it still smells really good. And the last 2 components I did not use much of, because this is going to be in a jar for a little bit. This will be one I can't smoke inside. My wife will send me outside. Then she'll say, "Stay out there and air out." What the hell's wrong with you? Smells good. Smells good, definitely. So I'm gonna take some notes while I'm here. I can't even breathe like a human being. All right, that's that. And perfect. So that's gonna sit. And this one's gonna sit wherever I just set it, because that's how I'm doing it today. I just had it. Oh, I set it in the holder. So this would be in. So this time, since these are trial, I'm just using this where I can wipe off the labels easily. And I'm just putting it straight on the lid, just A, B, C, or whatever. And then I'm writing my components, my ingredients for it here. And then I'll remember, for some reason, I'll remember in my mind how much of each I put just visually, not a specific percentage. But then I'll try it. And if it's how I want it, I'll write the percentages down. You know, I'll go, okay, this one had this much and it's going to represent this percentage or whatever. And I'll give it a final try, final blend. Give it a shot, make sure it's how I want it, and then record the percentages. But until then, I take pictures. So I've got A, and I got a picture, and I got B, and I take a picture. So I can visually see what went into that amount and then scale it to whatever it's going to be. Because then I can say, okay, it's this percentage no matter what, boom, no problem. But then I can see where it started at and know what it's at, know what it means. Man, I'm excited for that. It's going to be good. Yeah, plant is heavy English. I've never had, so I'm happy you were able to try it for us. I found a bunch the other day. Well, Hillbilly Piper was telling me about some blends, and it's like, oh, I had some of those, quite a few, and then by the end of it, I was like, okay, now there's several I haven't had. So I definitely need to get more orders in at some point soon. This one was in there anyway. I got my safety bin. Now, fortunately, knock on wood, wherever some wood is, here we go. I have not had any mice or anything in the shop. So, yeah, I put all my tobaccos in here, steel trash can, so I don't have to worry about if it happens. But this is my favorite. Said we're talking about haunted bookshop. This was an idea from a friend, and he said, I want to see if you can make a match for this or your version of it. And so I made Haunted Woods, and this one is the single closest thing to bookshop I've ever tasted. And it just, for me, the little harshness that was there is not there. So for me, this is my go-to haunted bookshop blend is this one. I still like regular haunted bookshop, but if I had to choose, it would be this one over that one. I like the flavor more. Just personally, it doesn't bother me. That's the biggest thing. It doesn't bother me, and it tastes great. And for me, haunted bookshop just it did get better with age, but it seems like it's stopped its improvement. I've had it jarred a long time, and it just yeah, it's just like I could smoke this throughout the day for multiple days, where haunted bookshop I couldn't. Um, so it's there for me if I can't do haunted bookshop, which is good. I'm waiting to get some people here. I'm supposed to have an electrician come in. And where am I setting these? Okay. Supposed to have an electrician come in and help me out today, and I haven't seen him. Well, there. I jarred two things. I jarred something. I'm not sure what it is. I got black catfish labeled. And that's somewhere around here. I'm losing my mind. I've got today's. Oh, I gotta quit. I've got the jar thing where it has the little slots for the jars, and I keep putting the blends in it, and then I look down and I just see jar lids. I'm not sure what this one is, but I'm gonna smoke it. It's not labeled. It's dibs. Dibs. It's up for grabs, but the other ones are all labeled. And I can't smoke that one in here. I cannot smoke that. Well, I can smoke it in here. I can't smoke it inside. And that's a trial one. And I'm going to save that here so I forget about it a little bit and let it improve over time. Maybe, since I got a little bit of time, sure wish we could play music without getting in trouble. I know there's certain ways to do it, and I always do the wrong one. So I'm going to smoke. And it'll be a second. They hit the spot for me. And a cigar sounds good. And I'm going to be visiting some family this weekend, so I don't know if I'll be online much. I will still do a little bit of pipe work if I can, but it's going to be a busy weekend. Pretty even, I think. There we go. Nice light. These ones are a little bit, well, this one is almost on the dry side, but I don't mind it. It works and it's a little less smoky. But I also want to let you know I do have an order I'm going to be making pretty soon. Oh, that's kind of you said. Thank you, sir. Mabu and I do think about you guys daily as well, and we wish you all the same. But yeah, I'm going to have some commissions within the next probably 10 days or so. I've gotten 4 recently, and I should have them done not quite 2 weeks from now. And then I've just got, some more pipes I'll make available. And then once those are sold, I can get a new supply of Briar'd, and then I'll open up more for commissions. I'm still, anytime I've got a soft spot for it, so I don't know. Commission season never really stops for me. So I try, the pipe making cut back a lot over the last few months, but now I'm back to that. And I've got some really nice pipes or some nice blocks for bulldogs. Different looks. The measurements are right. They're nice size for those. I've got some medium and large blocks. A few small ones yet. And then a couple of really big blocks. So I'm just trying to, I'll get some out fairly soon and make them available, and then I can get more Briar and have more variety back in, more of the medium size, which when I see large on the blocks, they're good for the large size, and like the normal large, like a pipe, like for example, this is considered a large bowl, just pipe shape, just large bowl, generic large. Consider it a medium. So I try to go by their standards so that everybody's familiar with what a large bowl would feel like or be like. But I want to get some more for this size. But you can get Briar blocks in. They come in such a variety of sizes that some of them will look to me, when I open the drawer and look like a medium-sized block, and then you trim them down and they'll be about like this. They can yield this size of pipe. So I do want to get some more of the regular sized pipes, blocks in. And yes, I'm truly the boss. My wife said in here I can wear this hat, so it is okay. But that's all for the bathroom. It's just waiting on the electrician for the lights, and I just need to hang the towel racks. I'm still a little bit anxious on drilling ceramic for those. I really don't like doing that. Ceramic tries to crack. I've had tremendous luck with the ceramic walls. We did have one piece break. I had cut a corner out of it, but I had cut 6 pieces, and 5 of them are holes in the middle or in the edge or whatever, and I didn't have any ceramic break. This one piece broke, so it had the corner out of it, and it just broke following that corner like 2 days after it was hung up. So I'm really anxious. We did replace that. I'm just anxious about drilling into ceramic to hang the towel racks and stuff. I don't like doing that. This is an Olivia second. They had a deal on it. If I remember right, this was like $10 or $15. I want to say 15. I could be wrong. It's been a while. But the sale they had brought them down to $2 a cigar if you ordered the 10 packs or whatever, 20 packs, whatever they were. So I was like, it's time to grab some. And I appreciate you. That's nice of you, but I hope I'm not doing anything that's making anybody worry. I don't always catch when I'm having issues sometimes. So uh, if you said it for that, then thank you anyway. But if I did something, I'm sorry. I don't even know. Let's throw things. There we go. So now I'm set. So I got a couple blends to take inside, have this evening, next couple days. Some blends made. And then throughout the next few weeks in between pipes, I'll sit down and do some blending, or I'd like to give tea samples with commissions, so I want to get some ready and aging for people. So, anybody got weekend plans? Anything big going on? I've got relatives here today from out of town, from quite a ways away, some of them. So we'll meet up sometime this weekend, and hopefully do a little bit of light pipe work. Maybe go on a nice relaxing walk with Mabu. I know each day we're gonna have stuff to do, which she told me both days are gonna be busy, and I don't know exactly what all we're gonna do, but I know one day we're gonna visit with family, another day we're gonna visit with her side of the family, and I don't know if she meant it's gonna be busy as in we're gonna be helping somebody kind of busy, or just busy with visits, which I'm okay with busy with visits. But we'll help. Well, she'll help people move vehicles and stuff like that. So I don't know if I don't know what I'll be doing specifically, but getting ready. I'm kicking things, man. Getting ready for winter. Ugh. The other day we had our famous two fronts. We'll get one that says, oh, it's a cool breeze. If there's a second cold front, it's going to be a real cold night. If not, it's just going to be a moment or a few hours of a cool breeze. And we got the second one the other night, and then we got a frost, which is fine with me because afterwards, I do better in the cooler weather anyway. So afterwards, I had a few great days and better nights of sleep. Got animal pens and dog run stuff all set for winter. We've got an insulated dog house with heated mat and rugs and stuff like that. But my rule is, I don't care if my dog's being stubborn. Wintertime, he comes into the shop. I'll carry his butt in here if I have to. But we've got a little travel pen kind of thing, and we propped the gate open, and he's got food and water and a nice, comfortable rug, folded over twice, so he's got 4 layers of comfort and a nice warm shop. If it gets real cold out or windy, even though this shop does not leak, we've got a little industrial heater, and it'll blow the heat 20 or 30 feet, no problem. So we'll set it up in the corner, and it won't blow directly on at all. Like his pen's 5 feet away from me and about 15 feet from the other corner. We'll have it just blow warm air past the front of the pen, and then we'll put a mat out in front, so if he feels like going out and being in the warmth, he can still sleep on that and still be in the better environment of the shop for him. Because right now in here, it's 62.6 Fahrenheit. So we're ready on the animal end. Although our dog has a lot of fur and he loves winter. Sometimes he's just content as heck. He wants to play in the snow for hours. But he's still, nighttime, he's coming in because he'll get, sometimes he's smart and sometimes he really loves the snow too much. Like, it can be raining on him or bleeding, and if he's taking a notion to, he'll sit at the corner of the dog run and just get wet and just wag his tail all happy. And I'm like, you're going to shiver, bud. So I bring him in before he shivers, at the latest. I'll let him play and do what he wants, but it's like, oh, okay, you're coming in. I don't care. I brought him in last night, and he fought me for an hour. Just playing hey, I've got black fur, and it's dark out earlier, so now it's real dark out. You can't see me. And I'm just going to hide under things and behind tires, and you're going to look for me. I was like, you're coming in. He wouldn't even do the trick with the treats. He'd come over, bring the treats. Come on in. Wasn't having that. But then he finally got his act together and was like, all right, I'll come in, I guess. I guess since you've got that treat and I've been messing with you for an hour or more, guess I'll come in. He comes in wagging his tail all happy to just go lay down. I'm like, you punk. Oh, yeah. And he's a bit of a chicken, but he's used to the machines now in here. The pipe stuff, I use the sander's not real loud. The loudest thing, honestly, would be the vacuum. If it's a day I can use a lathe, or if my dad's here using it, it's not loud. And most of the time I'm sanding by hand anyway, or sitting quietly sanding on a stem. So he loves the sandpaper sound. He just lays there and takes a nap or goofs around, but he's pretty good. And it's nice to have him around. I understand. My brother had a pit bull we babysat out here for a while, and And we did the same thing with that dog. We did insulated dog house. It had a bigger dog house, of course, because it's way bigger than our current dog. And we put hay everywhere, all around. It loved hay. It was a very warm-bodied dog for having short fur. It stayed really warm. So we'd bring it in here anyway. He used to have it in the house when he lived here. And this was before our shop was done, but it was happy. You know, we kept the heat up enough, and we didn't have the heaters we do now. But we'd have a heat lamp 4 or 5 feet off the ground hanging, suspended, and she was good. Had a heater just to warm up the air around her, but she loved it. Always moving around a lot. She's a beautiful dog. She had similar colors to a dog named Heidi we had once, a purebred beagle. Nice tan color and white on her head. And but difference was she was a pit bull and she had a ton of muscles. She'd run all over heck, and you know, until she got that enzyme imbalance, she was just a really good dog, just the sweetest damn thing. But I do miss having her around. For short fur, she really handled cold well, and it was the 20 minutes like you said, but you go out there to let her out, and you're standing there, and pretty soon 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and you're like, come on, and she just wants to keep playing. You're like, I'm cold now, let's go, and I've got sweaters, you know. She's pretty good. When she could tell you're really serious about going in, she's like, okay, I'll go in. Oh, I could imagine. We got to have, for a summer, we got to foster a dog. Now, it wasn't where we went to the Humane Society and got the dog specifically to foster it. This one actually had run away from someone, or they lost it. I maybe they let it out to use the bathroom, traveling with the van, and it took off. That could have been. So we had it for a summer. I'll tell you, we had 2 smaller dogs at one point, and they ate half of what my brother's pit bull ate, and this dog ate twice as much as that pit bull ate. It was Malamute and German Shepherd. It was huge, so we called it Duke. Although I had some Mexican coworkers calling it Oso, which is Spanish for bear. Huge dog. I mean, where my dachshunds could jump over a normal little irrigation ditch, that dog would bound over the huge ones that were 10 feet, 8 feet deep, and 10 or 12 feet across. Just, it ran over heck. When I could run tractor still, it'd follow me for miles. Just run around the field and find an old cow bone and chew on that. Have a bone from God knows where, whoever's field would show up, be carrying this huge femur around. And that was like that. I was afraid of that dog getting cold, and we put a 20-foot cable around its collar, but it was a good dog. It didn't need it. We just did that to keep it around, just at nighttime. And I had a doghouse for it, put a doghouse roof with frame in front of that, put boards around it, put snow up around all that, and some hay and stuff, all for insulation. That probably would have been the best dang place to sleep. 50 pounds, dang. Yeah, they do have a lot of fur. And but this dog was like that. It was Malamute, and we didn't know it for a long time, but you know, they ball up in the snow and sleep, and so that's what he did. So when you went out in the morning and you go, Duke, to see where he's at, you just, there's his head out of the snow. It was cool. But we tried to keep everything, tried to keep after him as good as we could. And then at the end of the summer, right before any weather changes, his owners drove by and located him. And I said, perfect, and he ran over to him, and it was great. So we got the summer with him, and he was looked after while they looked for him. And we let people know around and posted stuff in town and got a hold of people, but I don't know where they were from, but they found him. So happy ending to it. I do kind of wish we could have kept him. At the same time, financially affording that much dog food, looking after a pit bull, 2 dogs, and that dog, oh my goodness. You were wishing they would come out with like 300-pound dog food bags so you could get through a week or two. Oh my goodness, just lots of food. But a fun dog. Yeah, that's part of the reason I don't want a dog like that. My father-in-law has a dog that was a sheepdog mixed with a black lab. And just this beautiful dog, average size fur, not a big deal. Stayed normal dog size for a few years, and then I don't know what happened. That dog got huge. Like, I don't remember what he said it weighs. Last I remembered him saying was a few years ago at 80 pounds. And that thing is over the recliner, so a good couple feet tall. Real big around, has tons of fur, and yeah, they got to brush that thing all the time. No, they didn't. Which it's really okay. Because I was happy to have the dog. It cheered me up a bit. I was going through, just getting through, trying to not go into depression and stuff, and so having it run around, I'm pretty happy-go-lucky anyway. But that summer was good. It ran around and kept me company a bit, so it was okay. It was just the summer. If it would have been a year, I would have been going, holy cow. Of course, I would have been broke. Hey, Todd, how you doing, bud? Great to see you. Yeah, if it would have been me and I would have lost my dog for a whole summer and I found out someone was taking care of it, especially if I knew it was a huge dog that ate a lot, then I do agree with you, Seth. I would have been like, thank you guys so much. It must have cost you a bunch. Here's something for your trouble. But that was a huge dog. I've never seen a dog that big at all. It'd stand up on its hind legs, and it was right here. Just amazing. Beautiful. Huge paws. Man, I don't know how big a wolf would be in person, like a real healthy wolf, but that dog probably would have made him small. I can only imagine, though, Dan, German Shepherd and Lab. I know my dad says, you guys ought to get a big dog. And we're to the point now, we've got a cat, we've got a dog. The neighbor's dog comes and hangs out sometimes, and we're pretty content. We've had a lot of misfortune with pets lately. Well, not lately, but for a couple of years we were trying to find good farm cats. We had some that had grown up on farms, but we had a couple get hit by vehicles. We had a couple that were born sick and we didn't know it. We got them as under a month old, kittens. and they'd be healthy and eating and playing and happy, and then just pass overnight. One of them had, just call it kitty cancer. Over a few years, we lost a few of our older cats, just kind of one after the other. My gosh, my wife's two cats, one of them made it to 18 and the other one made it to almost 22. That's pretty old. And they were healthy till the very end. But the one that lived to 18 just went out and laid down and took a nap in the sun, and that was it. And the other one meowed and let us know, it was like he was waking up from a nap to say goodbye. And then he just calmly went back to sleep and passed. And I'm grateful it was peaceful. He had fallen from the rafters. He got real cold. He fell from the rafters in the shop before it was redone. And he had a bad stroke. We thought he was going to pass within a few days, and he lived for more years. So he retired into inside, and he got half the house to himself. And of course, he'd come upstairs and be in our half, but he couldn't find his way back into the shop. Now, here's what's amazing. A lot of people go, there's no such thing as miracles or whatever, God, whatever you want to say. But there's some things that happen you just can't explain. Here's what happened with my wife's cat, Tippy. The one that fell from the rafters. It was snowing. It was wintertime out, and our old door had a hole broken in the middle of it. And the cat slept under the heat lamp, had everything it needed. It just loved being outside. It was warm. Everything was good. We had old sofa cushions that it slept on with the rug on it. It was happy. Oh, awesome, Dan. That's the best one anyway. God bless you, brother. Have a good time. Thanks for joining us. That's fantastic. That sounds good. That was a fun game. But anyway, so the cat falls from the rafters, hits his head, has a stroke, to the point that the cat he couldn't negotiate the next day his way in or out of the hole to the garage. That's a, dog-sized hole. He just couldn't negotiate that 4-inch step up into it. He was walking with his head slanted and tilted, couldn't walk, couldn't know where to go. There is no way that we can fathom that he would have walked from here the 20 feet or so to the corner of the house, known which way to turn, and even made it up the steps to get to the front door. There's no way he could have done that on his own. That's another 20 or so feet. So around 40 feet, dark night, after being injured. And here's what's amazing. We heard him meow. I opened the door, and there he is. I was shocked that he was there, but he's all banged up. We bring him in, wrap him in towels, get him warm. There was not a single footprint from the shop to the house. There was not a single footprint. It wasn't dumping snow. There should have been prints. If he had just walked there, he didn't spend hours and hours on the deck. And even if he had, you can tell when footprints fill in. Usually you can tell there's that little bit of mound near it. There were no footprints anywhere. I've been around animals for my entire life. It's rare that it doesn't snow for hours to cover the track. And this was not a heavy snow. It was a cold night, but I'm talking like 1/4 inch deep snow, 1/2 inch, not much. And he was not a light cat. And he made it onto the step and meowed. No footprints all the way over there. But he still couldn't even walk forward on his own without falling down. That's amazing. That is amazing. I consider it a miracle. I don't care if people do or not, but to me and my wife, that's a miracle. So he retired. He used to be an outside cat all the time before I met my wife. She rescued him when he was really little. He was outside of a church lot and kids were throwing rocks at him. So she said nope, and she got her dad to stop the car, and they went and got the cat and took it home. And he'd leave. He'd go out hunting. He'd leave for weeks at a time, come back home. And so we moved here. And to get used to the place, we had him inside for a while, for a couple of years. He'd venture here and there. Took him a long time, but then he was totally comfortable. And it's just a different area where Ma's live. Even though it's in the country and it's only half an hour from here, it's a very different environment. There's much more clay here. We're a little bit higher up. We get a lot more winds here on the down edge of this hill we're on, basically, or the down slope. And their winds are all the time. But when her folks get really gusty winds, they're for 2 or 3 days, and they're only once a year or so. They aren't very often. But that cat was used to, it's pretty quiet there. We have more coyotes here, more cattle and horses around, where theirs are more open farmland. Here is farmland with some hills and more cattle, more noises, more animals, more pets, things like that. When he finally got used to it, by the time he was living out here, he was totally happy. Everything, he'd go hunt and come back a couple days at a time, not weeks anymore. But he loved outside. But then he was just ready. It was like, I'm ready to be an inside cat again after his accident. So he got to retire and enjoy the house and be warm and comfortable. And he recovered quite a bit. He's never the same, but he was very, very far along towards that. Hey, Donnie, how you doing, buddy? Got some pipe work done, and I decided as hard as I was working on it today, I said, all right, that's enough for the day. I'm going to go sit down and do a live. I was thinking of doing one this weekend, but we're going to be pretty busy. So I'll try to stain a couple of pipes this weekend. We're going to have family around. Most of them got here today. So we'll visit with them this weekend and in-laws this weekend. Do a little bit of maybe staining some pipes, maybe a little stem work if I'm ahead, but it's going to be good. So I thought, well, it's early anyway. I'll be on here a little bit, but not a lot longer. I thought I'll do a live anyway, and we'll see what happens. I should hear from the electrician anytime today, so I figured I may as well start the live as early as I could in case he shows up. Glad you're doing it, buddy. I did some blending, Donnie. You guys will excuse me. I'm just going to put myself on mute, but I'm going to go grab a drink from inside. I'll be right back with you guys. Find anything out?
Cleaned it up. Still isn't perfect, but it's clean. cleaned up.
Good deal.
I think what I need to do is put some hops number 9, put a plug in there and put some hops number 9 in the plug here and fill this barrel up. Because it's got a lot of crap in it. Right here where they probably use long rifles and I use longs and I use long rifles and they don't come out like it should. Well, I play with a little more. I gotta go help Mike and pick up Blue up.
Oh, great. Was his little Maserati?
No, Chevy.
Oh.
Got too many miles on it.
Well, you can't tell him that.
Yeah. I must have took left my sweatshirt in my truck, huh?
You got a gray one here.
Oh, girl.
You just
Snake
might be 3 feet in front of your face too. Might have to.
Yeah, there it is. I know I put it somewhere. I'll be back. I'll go help him move that.
Okay.
I'll be around this weekend, I think so.
Good deal.
Well, Saturday we got that one.
Yeah.
So
That'll be good.
yeah.
Be good to see everybody again.
Yeah. Well, Christine won't be there. She had to go home. She just came and, well, Lisa shut that account off.
All right. I told him you said hi, Donnie. He said, tell him hi back. He was laughing. I didn't know what he was going to say, so I wanted to keep it private, you know. Yeah. Am I still muted? It doesn't say I'm muted anymore. I'll wait. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah, I did mute myself intentionally. I didn't know what he was going to talk about, and we had family coming up for other reasons on top of just the visit. We had some show up that left, and we didn't know were going to show up, and apparently they did. And some people, man, I'll tell you. My dad was laughing. So I've got this estranged uncle, basically, always looking for a dime. And my dad said, yeah, he came too. He showed up too. I said, oh, cool. And I guess they had dinner yesterday. And he's telling him about this hot deal he's got. He's going to make a bunch of money, and it's great. He's always got some scheme, you know. And I guess he drove all the way over here from across the state. And somebody was gonna sell something for a whole bunch of money, and I guess he got my dad said almost a couple $100, almost a couple hundred. That isn't enough to pay the gas to go across the street dang near their state. But he showed up And then he turned around, went back. My dad thought, well, at least you're here. You can visit. He turned around, went back already today. And my dad's like, that ain't worth nothing. Why would you drive that far for you losing money and losing wear on the vehicle, you know? My dad's like, no, if it was like 150,000, I'd drive to the end of the country. It was funny. But anyway, Donnie, I made some blends. So I had to give in and blend a jar of blackened catfish. I had to, so I can take this inside and make the house smell good. And lucky you, Penzance, that's good stuff. And then I blended, let's see, I've got a little tin with just the Frankensteins of today. And then I'm working on a lap balm, and smells good. So that's in a jar. And then I've got another one I blended just to try it. We'll see how it ends up. I don't have a name for them yet because I haven't even tried them yet. But I'm gonna give them some time in the jar, try them, and then and I took pictures of how much I had for proportions. And once I try it and I'm happy with how it is, then I'll write down the measurements or whatever I gotta do, make changes. But we got a lap balm and then one that's I guess it would technically be in English because it has some Latakia in it and there's nothing topped. But I'd say it's more of a Burley Virginia, honestly, than any other component. So that should be real good. But the catfish we were talking about the other day, the only problem I have is I got some components, but the one I have the least amount of is 4 ounces or so. And that stuff, you got to blend that by I was telling the guys I need like a 30-pound or whatever gallon sized blending bowl with plenty of components so I can just make pickle jars full of blackened catfish. Holy cow. Good stuff. That one in Cascadian Falls and Fish Trap Creek, my goodness. My goodness. I need more. I need more so I can give out tea samples with commissions. But this weekend, if I can find time, because my dad just mentioned more we're doing this weekend, I really want to stain 2 pipes. That's all I want to do. Then they can sit and do their thing the whole day Sunday and be ready. And I kind of wish today was Thursday because although I'm glad it's Friday and today's a little bit nicer out now than yesterday was, I just want one more day. I would have liked to do some stem work. There's 3 stems I'd really like to finish, but I know they're going to take a couple days. So if like tomorrow is Friday, then I could do tomorrow and a little bit of Saturday, stain the pipes, be good. But I was going to drill some tendons this morning, and then the drill was dying. So I'm like, oh, now I got to plug the batteries in. I'm like, I guess I won't do that right now. Like, I'll do some stem work. And so I did a little bit of work on one, but they got pretty cool last night, and I like a certain temperature for the stems because it got pretty cold last night. So I'm going to wait a little bit. So I picked out some stems for some other pipes that will be made available. What I really want to do is maybe in a few weeks, I want to get some pipes finished up and do a live or something and show them and show that they're available. But I'm also doing commissions, but they shouldn't take long. I've gotten a bunch almost totally done. I've got just the 2 ready to stain right now. Well, almost right. Just a little bit of work. I just need to finish a tenon and figure out what stem I'm going to do and do the work where I blend them together with the shank and the stem. So that's why I'm waiting on the staining. So that's my goal. Next week we should have some finished pipes. And then I've gotten some nice blocks for bulldog sizes, so I think I'm going to make some of those, and I do have plenty of bulldog stems, so I think it's about time for some more bulldogs. So we need to get some finished. And then once I sell them, I can get some more blocks, and then we'll be good. Then it'll be all great. And by then I'll save up some money and get a tobacco order in, I hope. But it's looking good. It's looking good. I made a lot of progress. Each day of the 4 days this week that I've been able to do some pipe work, I made good progress. Today I made a ton. So I'm very happy. I figured out there's a pipe with plateau that I'm keeping that goes around the chamber and goes down to the shank, or the mortise, I guess. The shank, sorry. The end of the shank. And I finally figured out exactly what I want to do with that shape. It started shaping out a lot better. I figured it out exactly. So I was able to just go, okay, now I can go full on going towards this goal because now I know what I'm trying to do. So we're going to have some really pretty and a couple of pretty unique, good looking pipes available fairly soon. I hope you're having a good day. You're smoking Penzance. That seems like a good way to go for the day. I've gotten a little bit of that. I know it's not jarred for long right now, the blackened catfish, but all the components are aged. And so I did take a little smoke of that in a cob. And that made my day right there, man. Now, Hunter was having a little bit of trouble trying to join. If you'd like to join, I'll send you the link. And this is through Restream. I know you guys have joined me before, but it's up to you, buddy. I'm sorry I couldn't be on last night. But my dog wanted to bite me, and that was just too cold. It's just too cold to let him get away with trying to stay out and run around. But for a little dog, whatever breed he is, he has a tremendous amount of fur. I mean, you give him a haircut, and he's got curly fur, even what would be you'd consider the down, the actual close to the body fur. It's pretty good. Even you get him shaved down to this, and it's pretty dense. And then I took a blend-in last night to try to see how it is. That I've aged for over a year. That was for Kilted Piper Steve. I remember I kept a jar for him and a jar for me. And I wasn't going to try it until I sent his out, or until I was at least ready to send it out, because I've never tried it. I blended it, jarred it, called it good based off of things he'd like to try. So I'm going to put this together. And I took it in and then forgot to try it. I was so dang tired by the time I got inside. I just set it down and went to bed. So I'm going to give that a try this weekend and just double check that it's good, because I never tried it. And if it turns out to be total junk, I don't want to, I want to fix it. But with that much age, I couldn't even open it. When I tried to open it at first, I couldn't get the inner lid off of the jar. It was stuck good, so it's been there a while. I don't remember what I called it either. But a jar full of good-looking backy is a good-looking jar. It's got a good name on it. Penzance. I like Margate a lot. I need to try. What was the one? What's the one that Glenn hates? Yeah, pretty much said. I just can't remember the exact name, and I'm sure I left it inside today. Yeah, I gave it a twist on the name a little bit, but pretty much Beowulf blend. That's the essence of it anyway. But hey, you got, man, I could not recall that today at all. I'm glad you could. Yeah, Stonehaven. I love Stonehaven. I don't know why he doesn't like Stonehaven. That stuff is so freaking good. Maybe he didn't have his aged enough. I don't know, but mine was really good. I need a lifetime supply of Stonehaven. I really like that stuff. Have you? I would anticipate you've tried it. I think you've been smoking longer than I had, but have you happened to try it? I had a bit in it, man. I think I've got a little bit left. I'm just saving for whenever, but I loved it. True. That could be why, but I thought it was one of their best. I enjoyed it. Where the smoke's so thick, the blues can't hang around. I know this shop doesn't leak because I came back in last night and I hadn't smoked, or it was the day before I smoked a cigar and did a Google Meet and came back out, let the dog in, and there was still smoke in the shop. So I left the door open, aired it out a bit, but it lingered. I go, how much smoking was I doing? But before the meet, I had smoked while I was working on tapes and then turned around and come over and do the meet and smoked the whole time and lit a cigar up, of course. That's my problem with every time I sit in a recliner, I want to reach for a cigar. And this isn't a Nicaraguan or anything like that, but or an Olivia G or V, which are two of my favorites. But their seconds are this Olivia second's pretty damn good. Yeah, it's like Stonehaven has a bit of a subtle, almost fruitiness to it, but it's a really well-bodied smoke. It's just a nice full smoke. It's really the best description I can give it. It's full flavor. It's not like a real wispy kind of smoke. It's just there and it's good. And yeah, we'll say it's the reason you provided. Ha ha. That's a good one. Wado. That's a good one. I'm glad you mentioned that. I haven't seen him for forever. And sometimes this stuff unsubs you, but I've been so out of it. I haven't been on when people are doing their lives. I've seen some of Phil's and joined in when I can, but a lot of times now I'm doing my stuff earlier and he's doing his stuff late, and I've been falling asleep earlier. So heck, I don't. I've just missed out on a lot of life. Try to catch up with videos, and it's like when I'm ready to watch a video or listen to music, then I'm running the machine and I can't hear it anyway. I was on with Simon's for a bit yesterday, and I was getting tired, so I left it. All right, Donnie. We did a morning chat I must have missed a couple months ago, apparently. 1 month ago. We did a morning from the shop, a VR. I gotta see how he's doing. I gotta message him. It's been a bit. Oh, man. Yeah, Steve and Kathy always end up staying busy. I sure hope they get feeling better soon. That's no good. I'll have to message him and find him. I got something. How you feeling? maybe it'll help get him a little bit better faster, so he can, knowing that a smoke would be there for him. Maybe I'll feel a little bit better sooner and be able to enjoy it. I do. I really miss. You remember before they quit for a while, and I understand why. When they were doing their morning lives, I loved those things. And for the longest time, the mornings they did it on were busy days for me. And for the longest time, I didn't have any time during the day. It was everything in the evening or late at night. So I was doing stuff later and having to catch up on the live, but not be there live, which was frustrating because I enjoy them a lot. And now it's the other way around. Now I'm missing out on Phil's stuff because I'm sleepy by 6:30. So when I stay out here and I'm smoking now, and I'll probably go into town this afternoon and maybe join my folks for dinner if they'll have me. I might invite them to take me to dinner. Who knows? Because you got to do that while your folks are around, And my parents are pretty healthy. My mom's had some health issues each year for a few years in a row, and now it's down where she's doing good, but she's she really needs her knees and hip replaced bad, real bad. It's to the point where she leans forward to get up, and it takes her about 50 feet of walking to get her knees and her back mostly straight. And she's a little overweight, but it's not a matter of her diet. My aunt's a nutritionist. My dad's on a diet that helped him get in really good shape, and it's nothing extreme, but there's some things they just cut back on, basically bread, stuff like that. They just cut back on, but they still have everything they need. So she's watching her portions and watching what she eats really carefully, and she's not eating stuff that was giving her body fits. And now it's just to the joints. And God bless my mother and my mother-in-law. Both were nurses. My mom was a nurse for 50, I think by the time she retired, 56 or 58 years. And she comes from the old school of nursing where they actually had to go do their clinicals and go to several hospitals or facilities throughout different states. They had all sorts of experience. Now you go, I'm not saying nurses aren't good now, but the difference is that, it wasn't just, oh, you got your quick degree and now you're a nurse, boom. Because I've worked with a lot of terrible nurses, but I mean, my mom's been retired now for 6 or 7 years, and she still gets calls from doctors asking advice. So she's up there amongst them. Brilliant woman, but she's worked walking on that, industrial tile, which is basically cement because it's on cement. And she used to work 12 or more hour days, 12 to 32 hour days or 36 hours shifts all the time. So growing up, I got a lot of time with her because she tried to make it so where she'd come home in the morning. My dad would go farm. He'd come home, then he'd go teach, then he'd come home, then he'd go farm. He was usually out of the house by 3 in the morning and back at the house 11:30 at night. And whenever she picked up shifts and I was with my dad, then she'd take them. But concrete will kill you. It'll wipe out your joints, man. I keep that in mind. So I've got these hiking boots I bought beginning of the summer, and they're Oboes brand, and they're amazing. So I wear those now. I usually wear just beat up tennis shoes, but now I'm wearing better footwear because when I'm working on pipes, most of the time I'm standing because I'm sanding and I want to be near where I've got the vacuum hooked up, and I don't have I've got like a sawhorse deal, you crank it to get the ends together, and I'll use that to prop blocks with a rag around them for cushioning. But unless I'm sitting working on stems, I'm up. So if I'm sanding or working on pipes for 4 or 5 hours, I'm just standing there, maybe scooting around here and there, but I'm mostly just standing. And so I try to keep in mind that concrete, and I used to work on those kinds of floors all the time. And she's fortunate she got through nursing without any big health issues, but now it's really coming around for her knees and hip. Truly, I need to find the right ones because my problem is I don't have the greatest legs. My muscles really got messed up with West Nile and then fasciitis. So my legs, like the cold is great if you have epilepsy. It's garbage if you have bad legs. So I don't win no matter the time of the year. But my problem is my foot won't always lift when I think it is. So I always keep a little bit of the sawdust around so my feet will slide easier, but they just don't lift like they used to. And I'm more paranoid that I'm going to forget because sometimes I'll get a minor epileptic seizure where I'm moving, and because of a texture or something different under my foot, I'll just have a quick jolt like, whoa, what was that? Where am I? And so I'm a little nervous about adding a different contour. So if I go to the side that is just concrete, that shift can be enough of a difference to. So when I'm working on pipes, it's mostly just keep the legs straight, shuffle, and keep the focus on what I'm doing. Don't worry about where I'm going so much. But I do want to find the right mat for that because I agree. I appreciate the tip. I've been a bit rambly, but I'm talkative today. But I do need to get, and I know they do have some that they've come out with within the last 5 years that are much better than the ones that I've seen before that. So I know they aren't, there's some that are pretty flat. I should bring in, actually, I've got some, maybe that's what I'll do. I've got a rubber mat that I put on the gravel in front of our steps. So if the ground's wet, it melts really fast. And I should get something like that because it lays flat. It's not very thick, and it's still comfortable. But I don't want the knee problems later. I don't have them now, but I don't want them. And so basically, she can't get to the her willpower is there, but she can't get to do exercises like she wants because of the joints. So possibly within 2024, she's going to have some work done. Yeah, I need to do that. I'll mention that to my dad because I can't drive. So if I could, it's just like, I'll go try them out today. I'm done working on pipes. I'll do my live and go try them out. And so that holds me back a little, but I do need to check them out. Because I always thought I'd be sitting more. And I really sit down when I'm here. Or sometimes I'll sit and sand on a little just simple office chair that's pretty comfortable. We're talking about mats.
Yeah.
We should look at some mats soon.
For what?
Because when I'm working on pipes, I stand almost the whole time.
Well, I got some rubber ones just like the one that you have for your house.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. I'll bring you one. I got extras.
I didn't know you did.
I'll bring them. I got extra ones.
There we go. He's got some extra mats he'll bring over. I didn't know you. Well, that's why I didn't see them then, because they aren't here.
I used them also. I know how to clean this.
Well, thank you. Thank you again, Said, for the suggestion on that. We're talking about knees and joints and stuff. I mentioned Mom, and we were talking about Kilted Piper Steve and his wife, and they usually do a weekly live, or they used to do it, and they're feeling kind of sick and achy. So we're just talking about everything. And because when I'm working on pipes, I might sit and sand, but most of the time, if I'm doing main shaping or I'm doing drilling or I'm using the drill press, I'm always standing. So some days, if I have a day I'm working on pipes for 4 hours, a lot of times I'm just standing there the whole time on concrete. And it doesn't bug me much now, but it could down the road. And Mom is inspiring me to look after my knees and joints because I already don't have great legs, so I don't need to throw that pain on top of it.
No. Yeah, I do have some rubber mats. So it wouldn't be a big deal. Bring them in.
Cool. So we were just talking about the one up front, but I like to leave that one in front so when it gets icy, it melts fast.
Yeah.
Or you can just lift it and it all comes off.
I think the problem with this thing is let it up. That's why it won't let it release so well.
You think they ever cleaned it?
No.
Just shot it for a while and then just...
shut the hell out of it. Never.
He's got a 22 single shot.
Yeah. Lever action. From possibly the early 60s, mid 60s. Yeah. It's an Ithaca. It was real popular way back when.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. It's an Ithaca. I think the guy that asked me what it was left. He's going to play Star Wars with his son. But he's asking me the brand, and I could have the brand. I like how sturdy the dang gun is. It's a solid one. It's heavy.
Short barrel.
You aren't gonna feel a lot of kick. Because any
No,
kick.
not with the 22.
No, because I fired lighter 22s and they don't kick. You're not gonna feel nothing with that.
Oh my God. This is number 4. I had to give one up. I had to give one to Adam. One of the grandpas.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, you got the next choice. You got a single shot 22 or a Model 97, but means that you can use either one. You really don't need them.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say. I was gonna say I wouldn't mind having one of those, but yeah, if you got them here and I can use them, then I'll just shut up and enjoy them both.
They use all of them. Well, you got a whole arsenal in here.
So you having pretty good weather where you're at, Said? I know you said you're getting ready for winter. Has it come into full swing for you, or is it just starting to cool down pretty good for you? It's still 62.6 in here Fahrenheit, but it's pretty nice outside. Got a little bit of a cool edge to it, but the sun's out and it's nice.
It's probably in the 40s here. I guess it's around 45, maybe.
45. Feels nice out with that sunshine, though.
Yeah, but the wind is.
And it's not a real bright sun, so I sure enjoy it. Oh man. Sed's got 60 degrees Fahrenheit and rain.
No, tough.
I don't mind rain if it isn't freezing. Being a farm, I'll take any rain I can get, but
Yeah, we'd like to have some rain.
oh, okay, he's in Wisconsin. Hey, Eric, how you doing, buddy? Hope everything's going well. Good afternoon to yourself. Haven't seen you a bit. Ooh, and he's in northern Wisconsin. How about that? 38 degrees for him. Yeah, it's around 45 here, but it's sunny and nice. But it could change any minute here. Our famous saying is, if you don't like the weather, wait 30 minutes. And it's been proven. We've had all seasons in one day more than once. You can have a frost at night, snow in the morning, fall in the late morning, and summertime almost warm enough to swim in the afternoon, depending on the day. Not right now, though. You can swim in the cattle tank if you want, but you have to let it thaw first.
Oh, there's only a little bit of frost on it.
Oh, okay.
Not bad.
I might go check it out. I don't need to go to the Bering Sea to get frozen. I can just do it here. Man, it sure is good to see all you guys again. I know I haven't done a live for a long time. I finally got back into some meets last week, and it's just good to see y'all. And I haven't spoken with you, Eric, for quite some time. I haven't been online really much for, other than to thumbs up or comment here and there for months. But it's good to see you, bud. I haven't watched videos much or anything of anybody's, and I miss it, but you know, got so many friends on here. You try to see everything, you just can't. A cold and rainy fall. Yeah, we had an extended summer, a short fall, and now winter's creeping up. Cold and gray. So I like the part of me that likes cold and the gray is because it's a lot easier on my mind. But the sun today, I like the sun today because it's just not sharp. It's not a big glaring bright, oh no, cover your eyes kind of thing. So I like that. Oh, very nice, Ed. Yeah, I get some notifications. I don't get most of them. I know that because I only do a week, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Oh, New Minster 400 is fantastic. That is one of the best flakes that I've ever had. I like that one, and there's 4 I really love, and I made a blend of them, and that's one of them in it. But I made an all Virginia blend that is to die for. It makes you not even care about any other Virginias, at least for me, because they all get along with me. Yeah, New Minster's really impressed me, and New Minster and Peter Stokeby. I hadn't tried most of Peter Stokeby's blends until they had basically the components I was looking for, and I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. And man, everything I've had is really, really good quality. Country Squire, very nice. Nice place to shop from, definitely. Cowboy Coffee. Nice. Eric makes some good freehands, man. I've got mine right in here, actually. There's my Weaver freehand, and I've got an XL. Did you call it jumbo apple or the XL apple, whichever one? Oversized straight apple from him too. And I love that beauty. I really like his style on his freehands, I'll tell you that. He's inspired a lot of the thoughts I've gone through trying to figure out how I would do a freehand. I've seen there are about 3 styles of freehand I really just love the look of, even from just the pipe smoker point of view, before I ever thought I'd make pipes. But his are my favorite, man. I love his freehands. His and the Nording freehands, those styles they just get me every time. Yeah, because I remember chatting with you, actually. I know it's been a while. I remember chatting with you about large pipes, and I couldn't find. Yeah, chunk. That's what you called it. Yeah, man. I didn't find big pipes anywhere. And the ones I saw were either overpriced and just didn't have. They're just lackluster pipes. They didn't look great. They didn't seem to have the heart in it. So that's part of what steered me to making bigger pipes or offering them, is because I had trouble finding them myself. I looked everywhere, and I talked with a pipe guy that posts those gorgeous pictures of oversized pipes next to an average size pipe, which I love those photos. But I asked him, I said, where do you get those big pipes? I'm looking, I can't find them. And he said, well, they're around. And I thought, you son of a gun. But I get along with him. He's a great guy. And so finally I said, well, heck, I'm going to make my own. And so I've gotten some XLs here and there and made some really nice ones I'm really proud of. Oh, another guy that likes big pipes is Greg Tunnel. And I like big freehand church wardens, and that he likes those a lot too. So I really go for that. Yep, tunnel take, you got it. I made Zippo a church hand bulldog, and I made Vegas Piper a church warden volcano, and I made Greg the Mount St. Helens themed volcano pipe, and man, that turned out that one was funny because I try to use what I can when sanding. Of course, there's a lot of hand sanding, but I tried to use different things, a Dremel or the oscillating sander, and his was entirely hand sanded because all the contours, there was no mechanized anything, and it had to look right. And if once you get the Mount St. Helens look and you got to downsize, you can only screw it up from there if you put anything spinning on it. So, oh my gosh, that was a lot of handwork, but it's good. Yeah, he does a really good job. And sometimes you get lucky where you get a sturdy block, but it's just lighter, so you get a bigger pipe out of it, and you're like, well, you get to where you feel that how light or heavy they are compared to most of them that size you might make. And sometimes I've had luck with his where they're pretty dang light for the size they are. Absolutely. Still is able to leave a lot of plateau and briar on the pipe, but it's still clenchable for me, or at least mostly clenchable for some people, for the size they are. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. That's the whole goal right there. It always should be the focal point, is better drilling. Truly it does. Yeah, actually, you're right on the money as far as where mine go. The highest I go on the spindle sanders 120. But you're right. Above that, that's when I'm hand sanding. It varies, but typically it's 220, 320, 400, and then anywhere different. Wet sand 400's pretty nice and smooth. I think the most I sand, well, I've had some up to 12 I've played with, but I did sand wet sand one at 800, and I'm like, holy cow, it's so smooth. It was like glass. I was like, I'm gonna drop this son of a gun. It was a lot of work, but like you said, it makes a big difference. It pays off big time. When you put in that extra work, you're left with an absolute piece of art. And what's funny is the first commission I had for a volcano, I thought, how am I going to do that? Because I just at the time had never made one. And so I started on just just a block to get some practice and that I can turn into later on anyway. And yeah, it turned out pretty good. I seem to do pretty well with volcanoes just off the bat, which was a relief because I was actually a little bit anxious about them. Are you in season of making mugs? Heck, I can't remember. Yeah, and you make some really smooth pipes, man. They turn out really nice. And I like with that method, with that gray sandpaper you're talking about, it leaves, especially when it's got contrast, it just leaves more. It leaves a feeling of a little bit more freedom in the rest of the color of the pipe to be colored or do whatever. And I've done the wet sand at 220 or 300 and stained, and I've done 400 and stained. And sometimes it depends on the blow for the grain, because sometimes it's like, okay, this one would do better this way. You start, but yeah, 400 is usually where I get most of them. Somewhere during that process, and they usually end up around 600, and then buffed. Okay. All right, I'll send you a message then. I wasn't sure. I wanted to talk with you the other day about them, and I just got busy, and the days went on, and that was that. But I did want to ask you about it. So cool. So when you're making mugs and you're doing pottery, do you do that and do some commissions, or do you just hooked on most of the pipe making altogether? And I know pottery takes a lot of work, a lot of time, especially as much of it is due. Of course, I know you're always busy. So that's a little bit of it, I'm sure. Which it's actually kind of a cool coincidence that I'm talking with you today, because as a matter of fact, last night I was looking through. I've got that glasses case with different pipes inside I keep in there, and that was one of them that jumped out right away to me, was that chunky apple one you made me. So I took it out, and I'm gonna probably use that over the weekend. Probably starting tonight, but I'm gonna see. I made a blend. I blackened catfish that I absolutely love, and it's one that would be kinder to the bowl. I kind of want to smoke not any like harsher blends in that, because I end up using pipes like this one for everything from cigars to Englishes to whatever, and it's fine. But that one, I really, and you can pack the heck out of Virginia's. It's really good for a late nighter, and but that one's a long smoke, And that blackened catfish, I love huge amounts of it, so that'd be a good one for the apple. Okay, I thought so. For me, it's kind of like that, like steady work on pipes that'll be made available, and then focusing on the commissions as they come, and then always something in the works in between. So I kind of wondered. Well, I understand that. I understand. Sometimes you need a break from your hobby. Is it? I'm the same way, man. I come in and I'll look at pipes sometimes like, oh, I got a bunch of work to do. But then as soon as I start on one, then that goes away. Everything else goes out of the way, and I'm focused on that one. So that never lasts. But I do understand, like, if I'm not doing a commission and I'm just working on stuff or ideas, or I've got stems to finish for something, then yeah, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm tired of working on stems. I gotta loosen back up because I'll get hunched working on stems and sanding, and I'm like, okay, I gotta do something else for a while. So that's cool. Variety's the spice of life, man. There's nothing worse than being bored, though. Drives me nuts. I see people, they'll get a job, and I saw this a lot too when I was in nursing and doing therapy aid. Um, I noticed a lot of people would get a job, get their first paycheck and quit, or barely make it halfway to a paycheck and quit. And I'd be going, "What the hell is wrong with you? You got to be working." Because I've been at points where I was jobless and needed one, and that's the worst. That is the worst. It's much better to have a job you don't like than to not have a job that you need. Don't do too many commissions unless I'm really motivated. Sure, I understand. A lot of my commissions are, and I've had a few pipes that I was anxious about, like I was telling you about volcanoes. Bulldogs was another, and I see good with bulldogs and volcanoes, although the bulldogs do take longer. But and Dublins, um, I seem to do pretty well with those. So a lot of my commissions have actually been tall billiards or chimney pipes or poker pipes. I do it on those as well for being still fairly new at it. Um, I do get a lot of the bigger pipe commissions, and I do keep in mind, take a little bit more off. So unless someone's, I want as much of the block on there as possible, but that you can't tell it's a block, then I do keep in mind things you and I have talked about, tips you've given, and things Phil and I have talked about, and Simon and I have talked about. I've talked to probably almost a dozen people, and I just try to keep those little tips in mind. You know, I'm not asking people for their secrets, and I wouldn't expect anyone to give them if somebody asked. But I just try to get an idea, and then, like you said, try to make it your own. Um, but I try to keep in mind those little things, like, oh yeah, they did mention this tool might be easier for my particular case, working on a shank or something versus using a lathe or something else if I can't run one that day. Um, but I see what you mean. I enjoy commissions. I like the freedom as well as just starting on a block and just seeing what I can make of it, or seeing what shape it wants to be in some cases. But I keep that in mind from you, and or at least what I've gathered. Sometimes talking with people, I won't even ask them about something, but whatever else we're talking about may point in a direction in between the lines. And I do keep that in mind. Take a little bit more off. Take a little bit more off. And so now the sizes and shapes are doing really well. I was pretty ticked though. I started on a bent billiard, and it had like some of the dreamiest bird's eye. It had bird's eye, cross grain, and flame grain all just blending together so well. It wasn't like a stark difference. It's just all, oh my goodness, some of the most beautiful lead up you've seen in grain. And then it drives me nuts because I want to finish it, but I can't because it's got an inclusion, and I've tested it already, but the inclusion goes from the bottom front of the bowl kind of to the side, like the corner area, all the way into the bottom of the bowl of the chamber. But it was like one of my best drilled, or one of the better drilled anyway. Perfect drill, perfect dimensions, great look to it, and the greatest grain for a bent billiard that I've seen, honestly. And I was like, shoot, now I just can't do that. Have to leave that one alone and go to the next one. Right there. I remind myself of that every day now. And that's one of the tips you mentioned before, was just take longer than you think you need. And that's exactly it. Perfect example. I was sanding on a few days ago. I had 4 pipes. I just wanted to sand the chamber to 400. I wanted to get that at 400, finish the rest. The shape was all done, just a matter of sanding everything. And I said, well, I want to get the chamber done because I tend to stress out about chamber. I just do. It's not like, oh man, it's no good. Like, I want it perfectly smooth, no marks whatsoever. And if the grain's going up and you got to sand and it takes longer, like you said, take longer and get rid of the marks. Man, that's been my whole week. So anybody watching who wants to make pipes, that is a golden ticket idea right there. If you sand on a pipe and it's mostly done that day, come back to it tomorrow and really look over it. And wet sanding does amazing things. And that's funny said that you mentioned a blue mug, because I was picturing in my head either a gray or some kind of darker color, but a blue mug. So I love that you said, I love that blue mug you got me. I'm like, full of coincidences this morning. So said, do you have a preferred blend type, like any day that you could smoke over any other blend type? So like for me, generally English, as in the sense that, or I should say, sorry, aromatic in the sense that the blend itself gives a nice aroma, like the old meaning of aromatic, and not the new, if it's goop or has a topping, it's aromatic. But I prefer aromatics if they're done in the old sense of the word. And then English, as in just no topping, same kind of thing. I prefer any of those. I love Latakia blends, just can't smoke them all the time. Virginia's, same way. Eventually, all but the 4 blends which happen to be my favorite ones, like Carolina Red Flake, stuff like that, tend to give me a sourness after a time, even though they're aged. After a week or two of smoking them, of course, I'll get some of that. But then again, with like Periques, I can smoke. I could smoke Perique every day and it didn't bother me. So I'm just curious if there was any kind that you like that just never bothered you. Oh, there you go, Troy. And Troy's one of mine too. He's got a poker pipe. And we were just talking the other night. Me and some other guys were doing a Google Meet, and that was one of the pipes I missed was yours. Joel's. I miss his. I did a unique, large, standing freehand styled billiard. And I did different textures along it, so it looked like it kind of had sagging briar textures. It had a bold, forward-sloping front. Gosh, that thing, well, what a beautiful piece of wood. That thing ended up being one of the best I'd ever worked with. Just dense, no inclusions that caused any issues. But his Hunter's pipe, I've missed those ones a lot because they were fun to work on, as well as yours. They're just fun to work on. Good pieces of wood. Bob's got one too, and that's another one I've loved. It had plateau on it, nice little 673 style. That was another really good piece of briar. I wish they all turned out those qualities, because sometimes you get some with you're sanding, and like one of them's been driving me nuts. I had this one in the works for over a year, but the front of it, which needs to be brought forward a little bit, right above the shank, has this hard spot that's huge. But I'm trying to be real careful because I don't know how thin that hard spot is, and I've sanded quite a bit of it away. And so sanding, you can't just go to town on that, because I can go too low into the shank where I don't want to go, because I like where most of it is. And if I get the sides of it, they're softer than that spot. It drives me crazy. And I'm trying to sand where I put a band on it, and it's perfect. It's little by little. It's all hand done though. So, it's perfectly symmetrical and circular, but I need to move it back another 1/16 of an inch or so, and it's driving me crazy because it's the hardest thinking wood. But I guess, like you said, briar humbles you. But I do need to get some of those made and get them out. I've got some commissions being made, and it's just nice to be able to be working wood again. I've always enjoyed it. Didn't I, Troy? No, I don't think I did, actually. Well, I need to make you a pipe. I know I'm mixing your name with something, but I know whose it is too. I pictured you, and you've talked so much over the years, and I just matched your title to him. I don't know why, but I totally believed it, as you can tell. No, I guess I didn't make you a pipe. Who's that? Who did I make? I haven't talked to the guy for a while either, and it's been a while since you and I did talk, and I'm mixing it up. Well, if you want a pipe, let me know. Troy said, "No, I don't think so." He goes, "I'm broke. My wife gets the check, or gets my check." I understand. Oh, it's driving me nuts. But I hadn't talked to him the same amount of time I hadn't talked to you. So I was thinking it was you. Oh, man. And I'm not good with names anyway, so it's a miracle when I see your guys' name, I remember you. Good thing I like all of you, because if I had anything bad to say about anybody, I'd be saying them about the wrong people, and then everybody'd be pissed at me. I just say them about everybody, they'd be mad at me. No, it was... who am I mixing you up with? I think it was B-Dog Piper, actually. No. See, I'm doing it again. It had a D in it, and I haven't talked to him forever. That's all I know. But I made him a poker pipe. And it was a rustic, nice, dark brown look. Beautiful little pipe. And then it had an extended stem on it. Oh, how nice. Which anniversary are you celebrating next year? That's awesome, man. Because I understand totally. We've been like that from the bathroom, and then always getting tires patched, stuff like that. Just everything adds together. The face you made, you're like, I don't want to say. You're gonna think we're old. No more fingers than more than my fingers and toes. Well, congratulations, man. No matter how long it is, that's awesome. People staying married is a good thing. Well, in most cases. But in general, people staying married is a good thing. I thought you were worried about the age thing. You're like, I don't remember. Hey, you've got a year. You've got a year to remember, so you're okay. Yeah, some dust. I'm either getting white hairs or dust. I'm saying it's dust. Yeah, look at that. That's bleach blonde. I tell my wife. She said, you're getting some white hairs. No, I'm not. Or she'd say gray hairs. And I say, no, I'm not. And she goes, you're right. They're white hairs. I said, no, they're blonde. What about this one? That one's bleach blonde. I've seen people, they do that thing. They kind of dye some of their beard white. And some of them look pretty good. But I'm like, you're just asking. That's a big gamble you're making there. You might dye them gray or white, and then the stuff behind it might grow in gray or white. So maybe you might want to hold on to that any color you can. You have blue hair? Well, I don't think anything less of you. In fact, the bluer your hair gets, the more respect you'll find people giving you, because they're supposed to respect your elders. Well, I'm happy for you, man. Congratulations. I love that you put a blue heart. That's funny. Like Mike at Briar'd Blues, blue heart. That's great. I had to chat with him the other evening too. It's been a good week being back. I'm catching up with some of the group. Pretty good amount of the people I see regularly, and people I haven't seen for a while. So it's been nice. I haven't heard anything. I'm just curious if you guys have seen anything of Zippo or Dan Lopez, because I haven't talked with them for a while. I've regularly they'll get busy, but then I'll get to talk to them for quite a while, and then they'll be busy again, and it's just been longer than usual. So if you guys happen to talk to them, just know. We hope they're doing well. I know Zippo was pretty busy, and I know Dan's been busy, but I just haven't heard from him even longer than Zippo. And I know how life can be. So I hope it's fair to him. Okay, I'll send him a message. I sent him an invite the other day. Just, I know some of my invites are automated for Tumultuous Tuesday. And I've gone in so many times to stop all of them. And I can't undo some of them for some reason. I've redone almost 24. I've stopped that calendar setting to keep it scheduled, and I'm sure, I think it's like 9 people that still get those invitations automatically. I wish I never would have done that, because I was going through and I was sending, because depending on the time of day, the night, how busy somebody is, I had a few guys say, well, just send me an invite anyway, and when I can join, I'll join. And sometimes they could, and sometimes they couldn't. But I was always sending the invite. And I remember I was sending, some people are on Instagram and some aren't. So I'd send through tons of people and send tons of Instagram. And some weeks you get a variety of different people. But I know there's a few that I got rid of most of them. I shouldn't have done that. I was like, I'm going to make it. One guy suggested try automating and make them all one message, send it all out at once. And I tried doing that, and I should have just stuck with manual, because now people are probably still getting it going, this guy won't leave me alone. I didn't want to annoy him. I didn't know. That's a good point. I did forget to associate that. Yeah, and a lot of people are recovering, financially. They're getting back to working, trying to pay off any bills or loans they might have taken. But that is true. I do forget about that sometimes. A lot of those guys weren't guys to be on a lot of these, because they were hard-working, busy guys and didn't have the right timeline that would fall in alongside of everything. So I'm sure a lot of them were out of place being in so many lives, or being online so much, because they weren't working like they're used to. But it's been wonderful seeing you guys again. I'm going to go ahead and close this up. I'm going to visit with my dad and give him as much help as I can this afternoon. But it's been wonderful. I hope you guys have a fantastic week and weekend, or I guess Friday and weekend. See, I keep thinking it's earlier in the week. But I wish you guys all the best, and all the best health. And anybody listening who hasn't, please send a message over to Steve and Kathy, or go to a video or whatever last one that you can see, and just put a nice message on there to brighten their day. They're definitely people, and they need to smile. They're good folks. They need somebody to go, hey, hope you're doing good. Don't forget to keep in touch, because they're great folks. As are you guys. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your participation. Might have another live next week. A lot of my stuff looks like it's going to be in the early afternoon or late morning kind of thing. Until I know otherwise, my schedule looks like it's going to be mostly in the daytime now. So, but I'll let you guys know. And I'm hoping to host live and do a raffle or something. Now that's going to be probably a month or two out, just to give you a heads up. But I'd like to do like a Saturday evening for a couple hours and show a bunch of pipes and maybe make some blends or get some ready and jar them, and then to just have things to get ready to send to people. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Until I see you guys next time, maybe this coming week we'll do some more of these, but take care of yourselves. Best of health. Congratulations to anybody whose anniversary, which is, you know, if you're a guy, your anniversary is always sneaking up. And if you don't remember which one, you know, better look real quick before your wife's looking. But take care and God bless you guys. Thanks for being here.